Welcome back to Tucson, Arizona on a beautiful Sunday morning. My name is Dave Vincent alongside David Fink here on ESPN, the Watch ESPN app. We have a great day. I guess we could call it Sunday Finals Day as Tracy Davis and Jessica Gawley with the Women's Expo. Hopefully that'll kick off here this morning at 9 o'clock. And then, Dave, we are going to have the men's senior finals between Nadia Alvarado and Marco Chavez. That's kind of a bonus. That you would almost see that in the Elite Eight for the semifinals, or maybe a third, fifth place type match that we would normally air here at this time slot.
Somewhat unusual because both guys are still in the top 10 of the race for 8, yet they're both competing on the senior tour. So it's added a lot of prestige and electricity to that event. I mean, a lot of guys are excited to be able to have a chance to play these guys, even though it eliminates maybe their chance of winning. They say, hey, I come all the way here and I get to play one of the greats currently that's still in the game.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting with this 40 senior tour. You have a lot of people come up to you and say, you know, I actually wish that I was 40 so I can play on this tour. And I go, how old are you? Well, 37. I go, you have to wait a couple years here.
Yeah.
But that's the type of excitement that the senior tour is bringing to this regular Race for 8 tour, brought to you by Edel Handball at edelhandball.com and the World Players of Handball at WPH live.tv. And, of course, all the other sponsors that we have. Now, the men's finals are going to be interesting today as it's a repeat matchup from the World Championships. It's a repeat matchup from the U.S. Open. Yeah. It's the two best players in the game of handball today, Paul Brady and Luis Moreno. And then after that, we'll have an exhibition featuring some of the top pro big ball, which is using a racquetball doubles right here on the show court if time permits. Now, some of these matches can go more than 1 hour long. Sometimes they're 45 minutes or less than that. We just don't know what's going to happen, so we have different matches lined up for you this morning. Hopefully we'll get that all filled out, and certainly we will have that Women's Expo starting off at just a few minutes here in Arizona. And we appreciate the fact that you've tuned in. This first one out of the gate, though, is Tracy Davis and Jessica Golly. They are becoming rivals?
Yeah, I would call it the best rivalry in women's North American handball. These are the two best players on this continent. Jessica's from Canada. Tracy is from New York originally, now living here in Tucson. This is her home court. They've played twice already this season, this year. Jessica winning both of those in close matches. They're about the same age. They're two of the fittest women that I think I've ever seen at any age. They're both mothers and just very dedicated to their fitness and to being healthy and really playing good handball.
Now, Jessica Golly comes from Canada, from Saskatchewan, from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, and Tracy Davis, originally from New York, now living here in Tucson, Arizona. They were really close friends, and then it seemed like late last season there was sort of some kind of personal conflict between
TMZ?
the two.
I mean,
and now they're back to BFFs
it's
again.
the ebb and flow of pro sports. I mean, sometimes when you're playing against your friends, those friendships sour a bit. I know you and I never had one to start with, so playing each other had no effect on it. But, you know, Dave, I'm not able to get into the psyche of a woman, but I think that there is something to be said that a lot of times what happens on the court doesn't stay on the court in women's sports. I've heard that, you know. I know it, in fact, in men's, it doesn't always stay on the court either.
Well, this is the women's exhibition. It's not a ranking point tournament for the women, but there is good prize money, and we certainly want to feature some of the great things about the sport of handball. You're the development director with the World Players of Handball. You're a coach teaching kids, not just the young ones, but also older folks that want to learn how to play or continue to learn how to play. And one of our missions is to try to show those that are out there in the world that women play this sport, and they're not always just the spring chickens either. Both of these women over the age of 35, and they're in the finals of a championship here that features a lot of prize money, not a lot of ranking points, like we said, but this sport can be played by little kids. It can be played by women. We had at a recent, I believe the World Championship had a 9-year-old and a 90-year-old, and all of the every other age in between. So that's, it's a lifestyle sport, Dave.
Yeah, that's one of the aspects of handball that's so great. On top of burning calories and making friends and becoming part of a community, you know, you also can play this sport for your entire life. You can't get a group of 22 people together or 18 people together to play baseball or football, so you're pretty much done playing those sports in high school if you don't make the pros. But in handball, you know, you can even play by yourself. I mean, you go in the court and hit the ball around for 2 or 3 hours by yourself. You just need one other person if you want to play a match. You can also play it in teams with doubles, 2-on-2. So, you know, there's a lot of great attributes to this game.
Boy, that back wall is really scarred up from the racquetball rackets hitting it here during lunchtime at the TRC. I would normally say we apologize to those at home, but that's just the way that this is. We're inside of a cube here. I'm trying to bring our cameras in so you can see it. And now we're at 0-0 with Golly serving first, a lefty from Canada.
That was a great serve from Jessica, but Tracy's still alive here.
You will often see Jessica hopping around the court, really trying to get her legs involved.
1-0.
Two quick errors to start this match for Tracy. Can't let yourself get too far behind in a game to 15. It was Tracy Davis defeating her longtime rival Courtney Pachot in 2 very close games yesterday. They've always had great matches. Jessica Gawley overcame Ashley Moeller in a tiebreaker, so both these ladies had to work hard to get to this final.
This will be the best 2 out of 3 to 15, and the tiebreaker, of course, also to 15. You have to win by 2 here. Now, Dave, when you look at Jessica Gawley, you're a lefty as well. Does it look to you as if she was coached? I mean, sometimes you can watch a player and say, okay, they went to this certain college because you can tell how they have this certain form.
Nice shot.
I mean, she's really one of these people that really shows off her form when she hits the ball, almost as if somebody went in there and said, you need to do it just like this. Because I don't see natural players developing that sort of strategic look when they hit a ceiling ball without either watching a Chapman video or having a coach, a junior coach.
Well, I'm sure Jessica did have a junior coach in Saskatchewan where she grew up, but she's been playing this game. Amazing shot making here for Jessica. But she's been playing this game since before she was a teenager. I can remember seeing her at the Junior Nationals when I was 11. I think she's probably a year older than me. So, you know, when you're around the game your whole life, you know, she's seen all the best players and put a lot of time in. And she's a very gifted athlete on top of it. Tracy, on the other hand, Dave, grew up playing one wall where the strokes are completely different. You hit the ball with more of a stiff arm swing to keep the ball on the court. And she's had to adjust her swings for the 4-wall game.
4 serves 0.
Jessica Gawley is in the armed forces.
Point.
Well, that's the way she said it when I said, you're a policewoman, you're an investigator. She said, well,
5
I have a badge, but we call it the armed forces, but she's not part of the military, part of the Canadian police. But she tries to stay a little vague with her answers because she does a lot of undercover work and a lot of investigating.
Not anymore, she doesn't.
She doesn't really want her face to get out there, but she also understands that she's one of the top women's athletes in North America when it comes to handball, so it's inevitable.
Beautiful. Right corner kill from Tracy. She pinches the side wall into the front wall.
1 serves 5.
It helps to keep the ball down. Tracy, Dave, I think I'm questionably the best dresser in handball.
Side out.
Men's or women's. She's always color coordinated. It's as though she goes, it's not as though it's actually true. She goes to a tailor and has the clothes made to fit her, not the other way around, Dave. She designs her own look. She says, you know, I've always loved fashion and, you know, I like to look cool on the court, so I just decided to come out with my own line. Right now, she's the only one wearing it, but, you know, she's hoping, Dave, to take that line of athletic gear into various sports stores and boutiques.
I heard a rumor she has a huge setup with the left hand off the back wall, goes to the left corner, and then a miss hit from
Side
Golly.
out.
But I heard a long time ago, Jessica's right foot, she's going to take a break here.
Yeah.
This is, I
It
thought
looked
it
like
was
maybe a cramp, I thought. I didn't see a
One, serve
sprained
6.
ankle.
I didn't see her ankle flip either. But I heard a rumor one time that Tracy
Short ball.
used to go, when she would go out of town to a tournament,
serve.
would buy a new outfit at every stop. That's a lot of outfits.
Yeah.
Never wear the same thing twice.
Well, now, instead of buying them, she's designing them.
Well, she started winning.
Yeah.
6, serves 1.
And that's what happens. You can see Jessica now has a issue with her leg, and she hit that serve high.
Tracy's motto is classy and comfortable. That's the...
Well, that goes with the product line that she has, classy and sassy.
Mm.
If you order it online, it might show up late, though.
Point.
Yeah, hasn't
Timeout,
quite
Tracy.
figured out those shipping details yet.
7-1.
You're watching ESPN. The Watch ESPN app as we get ready for the grand finale later on today as Paul Brady goes up against Luis Moreno. We did not see that same Luis Moreno that we have witnessed down here at the Tucson Racket Club, but we have seen that Luis that's been underperforming in his last at least 2 stops.
Wow.
Maybe 3 if you look back. If you look at Jake Plummer's event in October, he lost there early. Made it to the finals of the U.S. Open, but was clearly, visibly not the same guy. But that same guy that we saw at the U.S. Open showed up here, also visibly, clearly not into handball.
He's been very much up and down here at this event. Looked sensational in his first round match. Looked really, really off in his first game of his quarterfinal match, but did come back to dominate games 2 and 3. And then yesterday in the semifinal just really looked sloppy. I mean, he was definitely vulnerable yesterday, but Pashot unable to take advantage of that. But, you know, Luis is going through a little bit of a lull,
Score is
a little bit of a
7,
flow,
serving 1.
ebb and flow. He's in the flow or the ebb. He's in one of those.
Well, whatever the ebb is doing, the flow's going the other way. So
yeah, he's not. They aren't working together.
as that's exactly what an ebb and flow would be doing.
Right.
Side out.
Jessica looking at her hand there. A lot of times you see tennis players look at their strings. It's kind of what handball players do. Look at
1,
your fingers.
serving 7.
Swinging and missing is not something that happens in this game. And so when it does, you go,
Point.
what in the world just happened? I did everything perfect. And you've done this before where you go,
2,
how did
7.
I swing and miss on that?
Yeah.
You have to look down and go, I must be on candid camera. Where's Alan Funt?
Side out.
I'd like to use references from the 70s and 80s,
Oh.
if you don't mind.
No, I don't at all. Just wish I could be a part of it.
7-2.
Is this the Carbonaro effect? Is that better?
Still not there.
Oh,
wish
wow.
I was.
Nice
Beautiful
nice
shot from Tracy.
Tracy Davis,
Side out.
left corner kill, gets a side out, trying to scrap her way back into this one after finding herself
2,
down
serve 7.
7-2. Now she has 2-7 here.
Point.
That's a tough shot, falling backwards with the ball coming into your body to punch to the ceiling.
3, serve
Easier
7.
to let the ball roll through your hand there and just flip it high 2-all. Much safer. Sometimes, Dave, as a handball player, you have to say to yourself, I don't need to make
Point.
the perfect shot. I just need to neutralize the rally here.
4, serve 7.
A lot of times when you're going for that perfect shot on defense, when you're off balance, that's when you make these strange hand errors. Sometimes you tell yourself, I just need to make good shots. And now
Point.
after a really nice start for Jessica, it's now Tracy coming on here. We don't know the extent of
5,
Jessica's
serve 7.
injury, but it seems to have had some effect on her, but also Tracy's play is having a big effect.
I'm going to call that a side out.
Now, Dave, you are neither a morning nor evening person.
7 serves
but
5.
you know, some people really do better at night than they do in the morning, and Tracy is one of those. She's a night owl, and she's a slow starter in the morning.
Side out.
But most of her marquee matches are always in the morning.
Right.
Luis Moreno, Tracy Davis,
5 serves
Dan
7.
Armijo.
Now, these are nocturnals. They're part of the all-nocturnal team in pro handball.
Point.
There's another point now, tied at 7.
6 straight
6,
points
7.
for classy and sassy Davis.
Bad bounce. Good call. Thank you. 6 serves 7 again. Bad bounce.
2 consecutive bad bounces off that back door
6
over there.
serves
Well,
7.
not only is there a door there, but there's a crease about 6 inches from the door, and that can make the ball shoot out at odd angles.
Side out. Seven serves 6.
Jessica's struggling in these back corners. She's not taking the ball off the back wall. She's waiting too long, and when she finally is swinging, the
6
ball's up
serves
against the
7.
side wall. It's like what John Bike said, Dave. It was a couple years ago on the webcast. You've got to take that ball before it gets to the side wall if it's going to be merging when you're swinging.
I like that shot there. It's Jessica pins Tracy behind her, goes to the left corner and gets the side out.
7 serves 6.
The best rally so far of this match.
Oh my gosh.
Do you think that Tracy was disrupted a little bit there, Dave?
Well, Tracy lost her concentration, but Jessica did the right thing. She stayed there and gave her a shot. You see a lot of players would have
8 serves 6.
done the unavoidable avoidable, but she gave her plenty of room. Tracy just lost her concentration.
Point.
And that was a nice lob serve there.
9 serves 6. Point.
And Dave, that's ideal when you can score 2 consecutive points without
10 serves
hitting the
6.
ball more than 5 miles per hour. She's going for 3 in a row, but clips the side wall, makes for a much easier return.
Side out.
Jessica flies in there, but just is unable to get her hand underneath the ball.
6 serves 10.
Jessica doing a pretty good job of holding Tracy back. Tracy was on a 5-0 run there. Now Jessica on her own 3-point run. That was a huge gross overhit from Davis. Gawley makes her pay, and then Gawley is really laboring here.
Yeah, I thought that the injury had subsided, but it seems to be flaring up. Maybe it's a Achilles or a calf thing. I think I thought it was a cramp, but maybe it's a strain.
And it very well could have been from an earlier injury. like a joint injury of some sort.
Well, it would be strange to get a cramp in your leg just 3 points into the match.
Point. 11 serves 6.
It's the right leg of
11 serves 6.
the right leg of Jessica. I think it's an ankle or a knee. You're thinking it might be like a muscle. I'm thinking it's a joint thing. Wow, this is a good rally.
Point.
It was a couple of really great gets from Jessica. Tracy pinched the corner, but Jessica somehow
12 serves 6.
got her hand underneath it and flipped it back into play.
Is Jessica Gawley a lot like in the, if we're going to compare in the men's, like Nadia, Alvarado, where they've always been knocking on the door, haven't really won that?
It's funny you say that because I don't think Jessica's ever won a pro title in the United States. She's been so close so many times.
I think she's won doubles, but
yeah, I'm talking about singles.
No, she hasn't.
Yeah, this I believe would be her first ever pro win.
Well, no, I don't know about that. See, when it comes to pro stops, I think she has done that before.
I don't know. I've watched Jessica for many years. I can remember losing to Anna Engel 11-9, 11-10 a couple of times in pro finals. Just don't know if she's won one.
I thought 2005 Milwaukee she
that
won.
Could be.
But yeah, individual pro stops, maybe not, but I'm sure she has won, and Nadia's won some of those.
Wow. You see Tracy really spread out there. Uses her length. Best shot she's hit the entire match. Very much a one-wall shot where you kill the ball in front of yourself with angle.
7 serves 12.
We're going to 15 here, 7 to 12. Tracy's trying to scrap her way back into this.
Point.
And changing direction there was a big problem for Jessica with whatever injury she has.
8 serves 12.
Whoa.
Point.
Perfect ace serve.
9 serves 12.
You know, Tracy is the player that all the female pros are weary of. Even if you've beaten her before with lopsided scores, all these top players know that if Tracy gets that serve going, she can take you out. Tracy just controls that rally throughout. Played it perfectly, set herself up for her favorite shot and missed it. Critical miss.
12 serves 10.
Dave, I was trying to explain to you on ESPN, the Watch ESPN app where we're streaming this live. There's a picture of you as the cover child.
Cool.
To the tournament. That was kind of neat. I know all of your fans started making that their profile picture on Facebook and retweeting that image. As if to say, he finally made it. As a male model. This is a good rally here. It should be. I thought Tracy would go to the left corner there, but she goes right down. Perfect shot for her down that left wall.
Well, Tracy's doing what she has to do here. She's overpowering Jessica right now.
10 serves 12.
I mean, Tracy is really hitting the ball hard right now.
Side out. Timeout, Tracy.
And you can
Second one.
almost guarantee, Dave, that when these two clash, it's going to be close. 25-23, Jessica Golly defeated Tracy for 3rd place at the Players' Championship in April. They played again a couple weeks ago for 3rd place at the U.S. Open. It was Jessica Golly defeating Tracy 21-10, 21-18.
You're watching the WPH Race for 8 women's exhibition here as we have the men's 40 finals between Nadia Alvarado Jr. and Marco Chavez coming up after this one at 10 o'clock Mountain Time, Tucson local time. And then the Elite 8 finale between Paul Brady, our current #1 player in the world, as he will be going up against our current ranked #1 player and local hometown hero, Luis Moreno, at 11 o'clock, followed by an exhibition featuring the Pro Doubles Big Ball Championship. That should be a lot of fun. In Tucson, Arizona at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, where we are streaming live on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app, is courtesy of the World Players of Handball and all of the sponsors that helped us, Edel Handball and the local sponsors as well. Just down the street from the Handball Hall of Fame, United States Handball Association's headquarters. This is
You talk to a lot of people in Tucson and they say, well, handball's huge here in Tucson. I mean, don't you have thousands of players here? And we do, actually. This is one of the hotbeds in the world for four-wall handball in particular, Tucson. A lot of middle-aged guys actually come out here, either retire here or move here just to be part of this handball community. A lot of the pro guys move here to be able to play against the best players between tournaments.
You know, it's somewhat easy to mock that sort of thing, and then it dawns on you, Dave, that you moved here for the same reason, for handball, and I moved here for the same reason.
12 serves 10.
Ours is a little bit different, but it's still for the sport of handball.
It's very similar. You see these golfers, they all live in either Scottsdale or South Florida, and they do it for the same reason. They do it to be around each other so they can play against each other and just be around golf. I mean, it'd be hard to compete on the tour, Dave, living in Chicago when all your peers are playing against each other every day in
Side out.
Ponte Vedra and where's that place, Dave, I want to live? I can't think of the name of it, but it's
10
nice,
serves
trust
12.
me. Jupiter Island.
Oh, we all kind of wish you lived in Jupiter.
Yeah, I thought so.
I'm not satisfied with you moving out of town. I'm
Right.
talking about a whole new planet.
Yeah.
Get out of our
11 serves
the
12.
same gravity that we're in. But it would be just like you to pick the biggest planet in the solar system. So,
And of course I knew that. Big setup here.
the only location you have memorized is
Let's hear it.
that your wallet is in your back pocket.
12 serves
I'm actually
11.
a front pocket guy. Both women, Dave, will sit in the ice bath tomorrow morning doing the Monday morning quarterbacking and realize they both missed a lot of opportunities here in this first game. But regardless, both in a good position to win this first game now.
Point.
I know, Dave, that we're beating a dead horse, but Tracy also moved here to become a better handball player. She worked extensively with Hall of Famer Fred Lewis, who actually goes into the court with her and works as her
12.
head coach.
Short ball.
And that dead horse is now officially dead. This morning,
Oh, it
talking to
is.
Jessica,
Second
she
serve.
said, I really wish I could move here.
Wow. And
So,
well, it's not quite dead because Courtney Pachot told me the same thing this morning. So maybe it will never die. Not until everyone in the world lives here that plays handball.
someone was asking me why this back wall glass is so scratched up here. I said, you know, with all the handball players that play at this facility, this has to be one of the most popular show courts in the history of the game.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, the famous people that have played on this court and continue to play daily. That's why it's so wore down. There's a lot of bad bounces. This court gets a lot of use.
For every 100 hours of handball played on this court, there's 20 minutes of racquetball played on it, and that's all it takes to just destroy the back wall.
It's frustrating.
12 serves 12.
Well, Dave, I'm an all sport court lover. I love the fusion.
And there's the first lead now for Tracy Davis at 13-12 here in game number 1.
Once trailing 7-1, now leads 13-12 and just 2 points from taking this first game.
Tracy's starting to wake up. Oh, that was an amazing stiletto left corner kill.
Yeah, beautiful shot. That's, I believe, Tracy's best shot, right hand in the left
Possible
corner.
game point, serves 12.
And just like that, Tracy serving to take this first game. Perfect serve down the right, which is her best serve. Good quick call from our referee, Scott Cleveland.
Tracy maybe could have gone with a 2-wall pass, and you see her motioning for that shot there. When you have your opponent rushing in to cover the kill, you just hit that pass shot behind them.
That was a strange return from Jessica. Goes high off the back wall with her left. Boy, Tracy has put some MPH H's on that ball. We're going to have a 3-minute break. We're going to take one. We'll be back. We have game number 2 coming up right around the corner. Tracy Davis taking down Jessica Gawley in game 1, 15-12. We'll have more handball in just a bit. Stick with us here on ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports, and the Watch ESPN app.
The Tucson Racket and Fitness Club is your home away from home. Work out, relax, and refuel. All this and more can be yours. Call us at 795-6960 or visit TucsonRacketClub.com. The Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, where Country Club Road ends and fitness begins.
Rethink what you know about this Vegas icon. Elevate your expectations at the Stratosphere Hotel, Casino, and Tower. See what's new, up, down, and all around.
In 1905, Thomas Beverly Pennock settled out west to start a family construction business. Over 100 years and 5 generations later, T.B. Pennock & Sons continues on today. From our world-class concrete at the San Diego airport to our recovery efforts in New York after Hurricane Sandy. We take pride in what we build, and we will never forget who we build for. We are T.B. Pennock & Sons.
Ahern Rentals is the largest independently owned and operated rental business in the United States. We are proud to maintain outstanding working relationships with over 100 manufacturers, including JLG, Skyjack, Genie, Kubota, Multiquip, Honda, and many more. From coast to coast, Ahern Rentals is here to service your equipment rental needs. For a complete list of locations near you, please visit us at www.ahern.com or call 1-800-400-1610.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's one every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting. So why would you do it while driving? Leave risky driving to the professionals. Stop the texts, and together we can stop the wrecks.
The Tucson Racket Club is your home away from home. Join us for world-class tennis, handball, racquetball, and the new rage, pickleball. Or try one of our 160 weekly group exercise classes. Want to swim laps or play with your family in the pool? Enjoy our 2 junior Olympic-sized pools and wading pool that are open year-round. Then round out the perfect day with a delicious meal at our restaurant or sports bar. All at the Tucson Racket and Fitness Club, where Country Club Road ends and fitness begins.
Back in Tucson, Arizona for game number 2, Jessica Gawley and Tracy Davis here on the women's exhibition show court as we get ready for the men's senior finals on the race for 8, as well as the Elite 8 featuring Paul Brady and Luis Moreno. That little extended timeout due to a player here who had to put tape on their hands.
You ready, Trace?
Due to a bone bruise. Tracy Davis serves first. She wins the first game 15-12. She was down 1-7 in that first game and came back and outscored Jessica. And mainly due to that right there, Jessica has some form of injury that, Dave, hopefully you figured that or found out what that was.
Well, actually, Dave, I was watching the end of the 9th place final where it was John Iglesias defeating Armando Ortiz 25-15. I know, Dave, that surprises you a little bit. Believe it or not, it does not surprise me.
2 serve 0.
And Dave, this has been all Tracy Davis since falling behind 7-1 in the first game. She scored 14 of the next 19 points to close out that first game, and she looks like she's completely in control here early in game 2. She's hitting the ball harder. She seems to have a plan. And Jessica's laboring a bit. Seems like she can't move how she wants to move.
Zero serves 2.
Tracy calls a wrist there, David. For those who may not know, you can't hit the ball on your wrist. You can only hit the ball on the glove.
Serves 2.
And of course, no one would know that but the person who actually hit it. That's
Right.
why this is such a great game, because the players police themselves unless it comes to hinders. When you go out of your way to be in the way.
It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
2 serves 2.
But then profusely apologize for intentionally going out of your way to be in the way. So that's a fun dynamic to that. You actually don't, though, apologize, Dave. I give you credit for that.
Well, I've come to realize that apologies are all fake.
Yeah, so
There's
you
no
just
such
say,
thing as
I'm,
real.
I'm here to get in your way. That's what I tried to do, and I did it.
No, I come right out and tell them I'm going to cheat, and I am going to fake injuries, and there's going to be a lot of bad things that happen, but please don't judge me. But I want you to judge me in the positive way that I'm coming up and saying this up front.
Yeah.
And there are close buddies of mine that I've competed with that know exactly what I'm talking about, that can hear us right now.
Yeah.
That I've actually said I will be cheating. I will actually grab your shirt in the middle of the rally so you can't run up and get the ball.
And when the match is almost over, I'll run to the elevator or to the hot tub to make sure that it actually is over.
Yeah,
now,
because
the referees
will call you back into the court if they think that something happened. They can get convinced. I run in.
Point.
Yeah.
I was at the airport one time when a guy ran into me and said, "You know, your match is still on."
But
sorry.
no referee is sadistic enough to make you put sweaty clothes back on. I mean, you wouldn't do that to anyone.
No.
I mean, your worst enemy. You're not going to make him put his sweaty clothes back on.
No. But I will call a double bounce on myself because it's a gentleman's sport.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Jessica was going to be able to get a hand on that.
Well, that was a skinny V. Beautiful rally ending shot for Tracy, and now it's a timeout for Jessica, her first here. And Jessica's going to go ahead and stay in the court here. Tracy was having some problems with her hand. She was asking for some sports tape. I believe a bone bruise on her right hand. She's hitting the ball really hard, so momentum of this rivalry, having lost their last 2 matches. Dave, is that hard when you've played a rival of yours and they beat you twice in a row? Do you start thinking to yourself, maybe they've got my number now?
Yeah, I mean, for me, but not for some of the guys. You know, the top competitors don't look at things that way. But for me personally, when I start finding a trend, if it seems like I can't figure them out, like a good example would be me playing you. I can't figure it out. I don't. Everybody else, you kind of say, well, here's a weakness. When I go there, I always seem to get points. But when I play you, I can't find that, and it's so difficult. You almost say, this isn't fun. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't have that give-up attitude when it comes to things like that. But you talk to a Paul Brady, on the other hand, they say, no, I just have to play my game. It has nothing to do with my opponent. I wish I had looked at it that way. Look at that get right there from Jessica Gawley, unable to get it to the front wall, though, and it's another point for Tracy Davis. Jessica wants to see the ground up here.
You need a towel?
Sometimes when you slide up front like that, that's a full-on dive, and then you get up to run and you slip, you know that it has to be wet. And Jessica actually could have gotten that ball there, Dave.
Yeah, it was an odd attempt, a running between the legs shot.
But she almost got it to the front wall. Ball 3 bounced the front wall, but still a hard shot nonetheless. You have to have a lot of leverage. That's for the highlight reel here.
Not the blooper reel? I don't know how that almost made the wall. I mean,
it was a 3 bounce to the front wall.
That's
what I said, a 3 bounced. Some people would just not even touch it. Compared to your new residence of Jupiter, that was pretty close.
That's, relatively speaking, yes.
All right. Here we go. 7 serves 2.
It's a beautiful serve right there. And, you know, here's another thing. Tracy Davis has a great serve to the right, but Jessica being left-handed, it's just 2 times harder now for Jessica to get that ball back. Score here is 8-2.
2 serves 8.
Oh, beautiful shot there from Jessica Gawley, left corner. And she's yelling at herself saying, come on, this is the way you need to play.
3 serves 8.
She had a great system early when she was up 7-1 in the first game, found herself losing to Tracy Davis, only scoring 5 points after that to Tracy's 14. And now consecutive points for Jessica Gawley, who goes by the self-proclaimed nickname of J Gall. It's kind of odd. We have J Gall versus Trey Day on the court here. I'm not sure if this is like an 80s rap video or rap duo, but that's what it feels like.
Hinder ball, hinder ball. Serves 8.
Nice little paddle right there from Tracy. That ball probably could have been called the other way as a point or a side out, but referee said hinder instead.
4 serves 8. Point. 5 serves 8.
We're at 5-8 here.
Hinder. Five serves 8. Side out.
You heard the score there of 8-5. Tracy Davis here.
Hinder. Serves 5.
I know, Dave, you were just handed a thank you note from our 9th place winner, which is a first for us. I'm surprised you're not reading it out loud.
I was proofreading it for errors.
Oh.
Point.
We have fans and handball players handing us
9 serves 5.
handing us cards and thank you letters. It's really nice. Nice dig right there. Jessica could get this, and she does. And this is going to be one of those that we're going to see her instant replay of, I believe. Perhaps just the whole rally at some point. Wow, and Jessica ends up getting the side out here. That was an unbelievable dive, and then Jessica got back to her feet and ran back and tracked down that ball. Watch this, Dave. Jessica Golly underhand flips that ball to Tracy's right. Tracy goes to wide corner. Jessica goes down. Now watch this. Jessica gets back up. Tracy hit almost the perfect shot too.
Gosh.
Now after this, Jessica ends up winning the rally with a missed ceiling shot as we go back to the live action.
Those were some of the best gets I've seen in this event. Incredible.
Tracy actually hit a pretty good return there.
Yeah.
You do want to clip that side wall and let it die in the deep court, but Jessica got up and tracked it down.
6 serves 9.
And Dave, I know that you'll circle that rally on your scorecard because it could have been 10-5 Tracy. Instead, now Jessica vying for the 7th point and just a 2-point deficit.
Uh-oh, swing and miss. That's a back wall shot there. Jessica needs to use some of that hustle that she had earlier. Let that go, Dave, take it off the back wall, right? I
Well,
mean,
sometimes when you get a little bit tired, you know, you don't want to make those extra 5 or 6 steps to take the ball off the back wall. You'd rather just stand there and
9 serves 6.
take it out of the air. You know, Dave, I read that
Side out.
as you get into your 30s, your speed might decrease a little bit, but
Tracy.
your endurance picks up. You actually have more endurance in your 30s than you do in your 20s, your
6,
teens. And it seems like both these ladies are playing better in this second game. And it's already been a long match, Dave. I mean, we're nearly 1 hour into this match. Both ladies are moving their feet quite a bit better than they were nearly an hour ago.
Yeah, it seems like that you can go longer as you get older, but that's where some of these older dudes like Marcos and Nadia Alvarado have said, you know, I can play just as long as I always have. I just can't, you know, when it comes to these young guys hitting the ball 100 miles an hour, I just can't get out of the block quick enough. And I know I want to do it. My body isn't really wanting to do that. So the sprinters, you kind of seem like you lose that sprinting ability, but you can make up for it on the deep end, I guess. Dave, you're starting to get up there in age as well, and you say you still feel the same as you did in your 20s. That's because you took some time off from the game for almost 10 years or more. You don't have that wear and tear on your body like some of these other guys do. But let me just pat you on the back and say, get ready, because it's going to happen soon.
All right, here we go. 6 serves 9. Side out. Nine serve 6.
Jessica led throughout the first game and ended up losing it. Here it's been Tracy leading throughout this second game.
Side out.
I want to say hello to Ricardo Ruiz, Dave, listening and watching this broadcast back home.
I knew you two had a great
9-6.
conversation yesterday online. Very uplifting.
Showing off our friendship. You don't like it when people say that what they think another person should do?
No.
I mean, giving out advice?
Yeah, no, it's
That's
very
not
constructive.
Okay.
You're here to help people, grow as people. I want to wish Ricardo luck on his upcoming kidney stone surgery, and more importantly, the birth of his first child, which is due very soon.
Well, somebody said to him, you know, you want to find out what it feels like to have childbirth. We're going to give this to you now.
Actually, he and Nancy have a plan that they're going to share a hospital room. She's going to give birth. He's going to have his surgery. The baby will have
the baby's
going to
wheel him out, to the parking lot later.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
8 serves 9.
You heard the score there, 8-9. Jessica fighting her way to try to stay in this one. You don't think they're hitting the ball hard, Dave?
No, I do.
You can hear it.
Both these ladies also play on the WPH Professional Players Cup 3-Wall Big Ball Tour, and they're both in the top 5.
Yeah, I believe they played for third place before one of those stops as well. Not that this is third place, but it seems like that's where they've semi-finalists in almost every tournament they play in.
Yeah.
Jessica now being ranked number 2, I believe, in the Pro Tour.
Right.
Getting kind of snubbed here, being ranked number 2. And she had a conversation with the seating committee, and she walked into the conversation already kind of knowing where it was going to go, and then she left kind of understanding why she was seated number 2.
I still don't understand it. So she's obviously there was some information relayed to her that maybe I wasn't privy to.
Which is all right.
No, I don't have to know
You don't
everything.
need to know everything.
No, I definitely don't.
But Tracy Davis won this tournament 3 consecutive years, and just out of respect to the winner.
So you don't follow the rankings then?
Well, it's not a ranked tournament. This is a women's expo. It's just a regular local junior benefit tournament. It's not part of the WPH. This is not a yellow jersey event.
So why not just throw the names into a hat then?
Well, then these two could have played in the opening round.
Well,
that's okay?
I mean, if you don't want to follow the seeds and the rankings, it might as well.
Not really.
No?
Could be worse. The two still made it to the finals.
All right, 9 serves 10.
These women, Dave, debunking the theory that there are no stalls or
serves 10.
towel timeouts. I mean, we've seen the towel down there a lot in this second game in particular.
9 serves 10. 9 serves 10.
That's a great serve there.
Well, this is a great match. Loving this match.
Big setup. Oh,
I like that shot.
I thought that Jessica let that ball drop. She had Tracy pinned behind her. I asked Jessica yesterday when she was watching Paul Brady, I said, you know, you've watched as much handball as anybody that's ever played. Do you pick up stuff, you know, later in your 30s? And she said, you know, yeah, what it's made her do is realize that she needs to be more aggressive when she plays and go for kill shots when she gets the setups. She said, you watch these pro guys, everything is so close, and then as soon as there's one mistake, they go for the kill shot. And she said, I kind of get away from that after having babies and forgetting about, you know, some of the upper strategies of the game. Jessica thought about diving in for that one. Now another point. We're tied at 10.
It's really an incredible slate of matchups we have today, starting with this one, which has been a treat.
You can kind of see Tracy's strategy. She's really trying to keep Jessica in the back court.
Side out.
Another side out.
10-10. All right, 10-10.
Best 2 out of 3 to 15 breaker, also to 15. First game went to Tracy Davis, 15-12. Game 2 has both of these women tied at 10.
Great passing shot from Tracy.
Are all lefties the same on the court?
Yeah, haven't you realized that? I mean, when are you going to try and stop controlling the lefty? It doesn't happen. It's the same in every sport. Lefties are wired differently.
I don't think lefties should be able to play sports.
Well, that may be true, but as long as you're going to allow them to, don't sit there and tell them how they should behave.
Well, I'm trying not to allow them to. I'm trying. I have a petition out.
Okay.
And so far, everybody agrees with me.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about everybody, even lefties.
I actually agree that lefties probably shouldn't be playing sports, but as long as we're allowed to enter, you know.
Is there some form of kind of racism and leftism? Would that be?
I'm feeling it right now, actually. I'm
is it reverse?
Offended.
You know, but you kind of agree, so is reverse leftism?
Doesn't matter if I agree. I mean, I'm still offended. I'm deeply hurt.
Reverse leftism. I'm sure you're going to call for my resignation because of this.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
We have 12-10.
You heard the score there from the referee.
Side out.
That time, Jessica uses her left, hits a big natural that jumps right into Tracy's body. Smart shot.
10 serves 12. Point.
There's probably a bad bounce back there, not called.
11.
I don't think so. You know, Jessica gave Tracy a bad bounce a couple of rallies ago. That looks short.
It was close.
Side out.
But she gave her a bad bounce off the back wall, and I didn't think Tracy was in the right position to make the shot anyway. She was too far away from the ball.
Now we're tied at 12 going to
so
15.
11.
You have to win by 2. Oh, 12 to 11, excuse me. You have to win by 2 here, and that's a good serve. Tracy just clipping the side wall late, and that ball pounces back out toward the middle of the court. If Tracy had that same serve but kept it down about a foot off the front wall,
12.
Dave.
Tracy's really struggling in the backcourt off the back wall with both her left and right hand. Jessica takes advantage there of Tracy's poor court positioning.
12 serves 12.
Altogether at 12, game number 2.
Jessica has such great serves, Dave, but she's not taking advantage with first strike kill shot opportunities.
Tracy fights that one off. Jessica goes to the left and gets a point now, 13-12.
But let's watch how when Jessica hits a good serve, she gets a great opportunity to hit a fly kill or a kill shot, and she doesn't really go for it. That's a pretty good return there.
How close are these two when it comes to their matchup?
This is what makes this one of the best matches to watch in the sport. They're so evenly matched.
I like that shot there from Tracy, resetting the action to the back court. That ball barely makes the front wall. Tracy's going to dig in. Jessica tries to get up there, doesn't do it. It's a side out, 12-13. Davis serving.
12-13.
Oh, nice serve. Dug out again from Jessica.
Wow.
That was an amazing Jessica Gawley flat rollout off the back wall there. 13-12, Jessica serving.
13 serves 12.
Both of them had opportunities to go low, and nobody did until that last shot.
Oh, no.
And now it's game point trying to force a
Timeout,
tiebreaker.
Tracy.
And a timeout from Tracy Davis.
And Dave, we're now just 1 point from a tiebreaker here. And based on the way this match has gone, the tiebreaker would not end until about 10:45 local time. I know you don't care about time or anything like that. You don't have those kind of issues. But, Dave, what happens if this does go until 10:45?
Great.
It's
No
great
big
for
ball
me.
doubles. So that's what would happen there.
It's too bad.
Marco Chavez said yesterday, as he gets ready for his match against Nadia Alvarado, he said Nadia Alvarado for the 40s is our Paul Brady. He said, I don't want to go in there and get embarrassed tomorrow. But Marco's still doing what Marcos always does, and that is hang around the courts, get here as the first person, referee matches. Meanwhile, Nadia Alvarado doing what Paul Brady does.
Well, I'm here as the
Warm up.
100th person, so, I mean, what's the difference? What are numbers?
Yes. All right, here we go. Possible game point serves 12.
Should be 14. There it is. Golly serving 14-12 against Tracy Davis. And that's a gigantic setup to the strong hand of Jessica, and she decides to go high instead of low.
Jessica's playing it very safe thus far in this rally.
Tracy too, though.
Well, Tracy's on defense, just trying to stay in this game, so I can see why she's playing it safe.
This is going to be a tough shot to return. Tracy overhand tomahawks it. Jessica back wall again. Who's going to go for the first offensive shot? Tracy is, and she gets it. And that's a side out. That was a beautiful shot from Tracy Davis.
But remember, Tracy will need to score at least 4 points to win this game.
Look at the shot from Tracy. She
great
made the
shot.
hardest one of the
12
rally,
14.
but probably the most comfortable one for her.
That was a great shot.
Boy, that was a terrible shot from both of these women, back to back. It's very tense in here, Dave. And Jessica Golly tries to go bottom board in a situation. I don't think she needed to do that there. And
I don't think it was necessarily the wrong shot. Her only other shot from that position was to flip a 3-wall wrap into the back left corner. But
serves 14.
I don't think the shot selection was bad there.
no matter what, we're going into overtime because it's 13-14. You have to win by 2.
Not necessarily into overtime.
Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be in overtime no matter what.
15-13 is overtime?
No, it isn't.
Now we're going into overtime.
No,
Play it again.
referee's going to play that over even though that ball cracked out.
Was the referee watching the ball there, Dave?
No, he's watching.
13 serves 14.
He's watching the collision that happened on the court. Referee's done a pretty good job here, actually.
I agree. Great shot.
Right out.
Now you're going to prove me wrong if Jessica gets this last point.
Possible game point serves 13.
Overhit from Tracy off the back wall. Tracy's going to go offense here. Goes down to the right corner, gets it, and there's another side out, and you knew she'd have to go to that right corner from there.
Great shot there from Tracy. And Jessica read that, but it was just too low and too well struck.
Look how perfect that shot is. And it was in the right position, too. Both trading ceiling shots, found her opening, took it, got it. Now she's serving again at 13-14. Well, Tracy has a system, Dave. You have to give her something for that. Oh, and she might have done it again, and she did now, tied at 14. This will go overtime.
Yes.
Reminder, you got to win by 2, folks.
I don't see any folks on the court.
Both of the women players did not realize that just by the smiles on their faces.
Serves 14.
I'm impressed the ref knew it.
Well,
Dave, you recall a match 2.5 years ago on this court when John Iglesias thought he advanced to the semifinals when he scored the 25th point, celebrated with both fists and both feet in the air. Found out that you had to win by 2 and never returned another shot after that.
Yeah, that's rough for him. And there's another side out. Tracy back in again at 14-14. Yeah, so that's frustrating for a player when they find out they made this huge celebration and then they go, uh-oh, you're right, I have to win by 2, and then never touch a ball again. And to lose the match, 27-25.
Point.
Here it is, Tracy Davis now serving to take the match.
Game point serves 14.
This is kind of a turn of events, don't you think?
Huge. Remember, she was trailing 14-12.
Tracy keeps hitting that ball to Jessica's left. And then a swing and a bad bounce off the back wall. Jessica saw it as well.
There? Okay, good call. Tough angle from up here to see that. 15.
Jessica saw it. Jessica's the one that raised her hand. And that's tough to do at 15-14.
Short ball.
That just missed the crack over there.
Well, it caught the crack just about 2 inches short, though.
Oh,
wow.
Unbelievable. Back wall kill from Jessica Gawley. Flat rollout.
That's the best shot of the match, and if that's an inch lower, this match is over. She literally hits that in half an inch high from 37 feet to stay in this match.
Oh, and now we're tied at 15 again.
Wow.
This is exactly what we thought it would be here on ESPN. Tracy Davis and Jessica Golly. Jessica now needs to score 2 to win. Take it to a tiebreaker. And she got one of them right there.
So Tracy is a half an inch from hoisting the trophy here. And now all of a sudden she's just one shot from being in a tiebreaker. They're actually gold medals, Dave, not trophies, but you got the point.
This is going to be tough for Tracy. Who's going to be the first one to strike?
Hinder. You ran into her.
I don't know if our ref knows what an avoidable is, Dave.
I'll just call it
no offense to him.
Referee says I'll just call it a hinder.
16-15.
Well, you know you're pretty desperate when you're lobbying for an avoidable hinder at game point.
I do that on the first point, so no.
Oh, wow. Jessica goes for that elite rollout kill again, and she gets a side out now, serving 15-16. Tracy Davis needs to score 3 points now.
That was such an easy shot for Jessica there. She puts it in the ground.
There's some power there, clips that side wall. Tracy needs to realize that Jessica was laying down on her back in the back court. It's the party ball. Oh, crazy crack over on the left wall that gets a point for Tracy Davis, now tied at 16.
Dave, should players be afforded one more timeout when matches go into overtime? Because
No.
this could go, no.
Nope, that's the part of the excitement. It's a shootout.
Serve 16.
I know in the NFL you get an additional timeout when you go to overtime.
Yeah, but they have actual a clock, a time period. Overtime could happen
16
just
serve 16.
1 or 2 shots and it's over.
Talk to the committee about that.
Committee's listening in New York right now, shaking their heads.
You don't know that. They can see us, but we can't see them.
Sign up.
A little left corner kill from Jessica, now serving here at 16-16. There is a report of one match this weekend going 19-17.
16.
This one's
serve
knocking
16.
on that door. This one's definitely going to at least end 18-16. So another side out.
Side out.
And
Timeout.
the senior men might not ever play.
Although just play that match back at home. Even though they live 5 miles away from each other, they've never once played in California.
Nothing's 5 miles away or 5 minutes away in California, Dave.
That's a good
Even
point.
the local grocery store is more than 5 minutes away.
Although every Alvarado is within 5 houses of one another.
In
You have to
California,
admit that.
when you're in Alvarado and you live next door to another Alvarado, they actually all dress up, go into the garage, open the garage door, get into their car, drive out, drive to the next driveway, and drive into the next garage. And they don't walk there. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I wouldn't know. I've never been invited.
And you never will be, actually. I was given a standing invite about 3 years ago, and I come over unannounced now. Unfortunately for me, they moved addresses and didn't give me that new address. I don't know if that's a hint. Possibly it is. You're watching the Race for 8 Women's Expo here. It's supposed to be a 1-hour match.
How do you get expo out of exhibition? Where's the P in exhibition?
I just threw it in there. It's my own little thing.
I thought an expo was kind of like when you went to go shopping and they have kind of like a car expo
16.
type of thing, you know, a golf expo.
Yeah.
They're debuting clubs.
Yeah, we're debuting this on ESPN.
Point.
It's our expo.
So it's an exhibition and an expo, double, slash.
Okay. It's double X?
Sounds like it.
Didn't sound like it would be good to say the women's finals and then throwing 2 X's after it. Didn't think that was appropriate. And here it is now, match point for Tracy Davis.
Great 2-wall shot from Jessica. Tracy tries to cut it off before it clips the side wall,
16 serve 17.
but unable to defend it off. Oh,
what is Tracy doing there?
Point.
That was a huge back wall setup. Very confusing decision there from Tracy Davis.
Now we're all tied up at 17. This is never going to end. Tracy tries to fly a ball that was 38 feet away from her.
Yeah, I've not seen that before.
Sometimes your feet get tied up when you're tall, and you just have to just let your hands do the work. It's going to be a big back wall, but to the offhand of Jessica Gawley, and now it's turning sloppy. Side out, Tracy Davis, 17 up.
17 serve 17.
Even the referee is starting to get frustrated.
Tracy's a full shoe size over that line when she's serving. It's not been called, though.
And won't be. And there's a fist pump from Tracy Davis, now at 18-17.
Well, Jessica could have taken that off the side wall, but she rushed it.
Possible match point, serve 17.
This is match point again. And I think, oh, I thought Tracy was just won it right there on that serve. The ball checks up strangely in the middle of the court there.
Oh,
and
how does Tracy miss that, Dave?
The ball seemed like it rode away from Tracy there at the end.
I thought Jessica made a mistake just floating this ball to Tracy's right
17
hand.
serves 18.
But somehow, Tracy with the strength. I like this serve here for Jessica.
I think Jessica wins the match if she stays on that serve exclusively.
I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet.
And now another side out. How many game and match points have we had here?
Possible match point, serve 17.
Here it is, 18-17, match point. Tracy Davis serving, back to the right
Short.
again. It was a short and foot fault.
Second serve.
Just over the line, and there
Great
she
game,
is.
girls.
Tracy Davis takes it down, wins 19-17 in front of this home crowd, and a big hug from the two women here on this show court in front of the ESPN audience and the Race for 8 crew. Want to thank our referee, Scott Cleveland, as well as those that are watching at home and helping out with this broadcast here locally. Chris Garrad, Linda Manning, Dave Fink here, as we will have the men's 40-plus finals. Marco Chavez and Nadia Alvarado coming up next, but we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk about what we just saw and to analyze what we're going to see coming up in just a few. Stay here on ESPN and the Watch ESPN app.